solutions. So out of those ashes came some solutions. All right. So on your table, as they mic up our next speaker, you'll see some handouts. A handout on vaccines and pregnancy. Those that not make it into the bag, so take one and put it in the bags. It talks about those vaccines that are needed in pregnancy or that are suggested or recommended for pregnancy. Please feel free to take those, and that those are from Healthy Baby, Healthy Body, and wonderful organization that's partnered with us. If you need it in Spanish, they also have it in Spanish. So take the information off the table and stick those in your bags so you can take it home. And you can also order or call them for any additional handouts as needed. Alright, evaluations will be forthcoming for each of the sessions, and we'll ask you to complete those evaluations. Alright, perfect timing, the perfect segue. We're going into for our next speaker, and he don't know this yet, but I always refer to him as Daddy UI. And I'm not trying to be still and get my room back, but that's something that he has proposed and is presenting today. That's the title of his, I'm going to say message, and I'm giving a 9 church. It's the title of his presentation. Daddy UI. And our speaker is Dr. Antoine Dwayne Jones. He is a professional photographer, entrepreneur, brother of 5 Beta Sigma. And he's also a father. He prides himself on giving people his best to bring the best out of them. His company is committed to providing the best quality service that meets the needs of his clients. If you have a vision, he is committed to bringing it to life. Let's hear what Daddy has to say. All right. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. Well, I haven't done this in a while, so I'll give you a brief recap. So, my degree is in business administration with a concentration in management and marketing. And I taught high school level marketing for about 6 years. So I was doing the lesson plans and all that every day. And I haven't actually been or had a boss in the last 12 years. So I haven't done this particular presentation type style for a lesson plan in a good while. But I'm Antoine Dwayne Jones. The reason why I'm here today is because guess what? I am a dad. Oh, now, good or bad, that's totally up to you guys to decide. But I've had experiences, so I have to start this way because, again, in this space, there's usually not that many dads. So where are my dads? Dads, stand up for me because y'all gonna help me today too. Do we have dads in here? Right. So we got 3 other dads in here in the limited amount of men as well, because it's typically in this space, there's not a lot of men as well. I am a dad of 3. So let me tell you how old I am, because y'all gonna start looking at me strange. So how old do you think I am? 20. I'm not there yet. So I'm 47 years old. So, because people look at me like crazy when I take my daughter around, people are like, oh my gosh, your brother. I'm like, no, I had to pay for this one. So, but I have a unique story as far as each childbirth was particularly hard. And I think that we forget that there's another person involved when we're talking about childbirth and the whole experience. So that's been my opportunity to get in front of men. So the part of how I got really into talking to others is because I was the international chairman for Sigma Fathers. So the fraternity decided as a whole 4 years ago to create a committee that would provide resources and assets for the fathers. And I was the one that had to build it from nothing. So that got me into these rooms. So I was one of few men in the rooms going, hey, maternal health, but what about dad? Baby health, what about dad? Because if dad is involved, then we tend to find better outcomes, right? Okay. And a lot of men don't know that. And a lot of women don't know that. So let's start off with something cool. If you could rename father-in-law to something less intimidating, Dadzilla, Daddy Do. What would you pick? What would you be? What would be a good nickname for daddy, for father-in-law? Pop Pop? Okay. Father in love, that's a good one. So um, I never called, yeah, I always just said dad. Even with I was stepmom, I never called her stepmom. I always called her mama number two. But it was just a way to distinguish which one you were talking about without making it feel like they weren't a part of the family, right? And that's sometimes how dads get into like the other person and not the team. So we can look at this stat. You guys are all the professionals. That's why I was kind of nervous. I was like, I got to go after the nurse lady. Put me at the end. I'm the logical one. I'm not necessarily the statistical one, right? I'm like, I just have practical experience, so I might not necessarily have all the numbers, but nevertheless, when fathers took 2 or greater than 2 weeks of leave, breastfeeding at 8 weeks improved from 60.5 to 79.3. So it seems to indicate that if dad is around, that we have better outcomes, right? And we know how important breastfeeding is. Most of us are advocating for breastfeeding for healthier babies and so forth as well, and bonding time with mom and all that good stuff, right? And we're not going to get sick of dad because, on a normal circumstance, you'd be like, dad's on vacation. He's messing up my program. I can't watch my TV shows. He's getting on my nerves. He got the house all dirty and all that. But nevertheless, when baby's around, then we want dad to be interactive, to be able to help, to be able to assist, to be able to bond with the baby as well. So who here thought 2 weeks of paternity leave was overkill? Now imagine 30% more breastfeeding. That's not overkill at all, right? Okay, so again, I have to emphasize that I haven't been a little newborn dad in 15 years, right? So my youngest is 15. And I have an 18-year-old that's a freshman in college, and I have a 23-year-old. So I was fortunate. The 23-year-old was when I was in college. So we have free time. Dad can move around. It was a college kid, right? Dad can move around, go to all the doctor's appointments, do all that. He could be there. The second two, I was a finance manager. So before I went teaching, I was a finance manager. So guess what? I was a boss. So I can go to all the appointments that way as well. But a lot of dads don't have that. That's another reason why we're like, well, why is mom at the appointment alone and dad's not here? When I was growing up, dads didn't have the opportunity to just take off. It wasn't no paternity leave. They couldn't just randomly be there if they were working, because that was another avenue that dad had to take care of as well. Somebody still had to work, even if mom was working as well. Dad, oh, you having a baby? Oh well. It wasn't. Oh, you get a 2-hour lunch break so you can go to the appointment, and then we all know that if you go to the appointment at 2:00, then you might not get seen to 3:00, and then you might get off at 4:00, and you finally get out the back at 4:30. You know what I'm saying? We all know that. That's how doctors' offices run, right? So dads may not have been there. I think it was only one time out of the 3 pregnancies that I went to a doctor's appointment and I had to leave because it was like, okay, the appointment was at 1. We're still sitting back there at 3, and I had to go back to work at 4 or whatever like that. So there are reasons why sometimes dads may not be able to be there, but an informed dad, an active dad, a present dad is one that will help them all. All right, so father engagement supports earlier prenatal care initiation, higher postpartum utilization, lower maternal depression, better development outcomes for babies. Okay, I'll give an example for that. Baby number 1. Well, I'll give that. Yeah, baby number 1. College, green behind the ears. I don't know what I'm doing, right? I don't think anybody knows how to parent anyway. There's no blueprint to it. There's no manual you can open up and say, I'm a great parent, right? It just the first one for most people, you just throwing darts against the walls, you're reading all kind of books, you're just hoping for the best. All right. That first one was rough. She was, so how many people have ever been in the NICU? All right. So that was my first childbirthing experience as a parent. My daughter came at 32 weeks. She was 3 pounds, 3 ounces. They said we're going to be in the hospital, or 18 inches. So they said we're going to be in the hospital 6 months back then. 2002, it was like, we're going to be in the hospital 6 months. You're like terrified, right? You don't know what's going to happen with your kid. You don't know if they're going to make it. I didn't even hold my daughter for the first week because as a big, tall, long black man holding something 18 inches that's always curled up is really looks like holding this remote, right? I was like, I'm not touching. I don't want to break my kid. Like, this is some scary stuff to be a man holding basically a remote control, going, this is your kid. But fortunately, my daughter is outstanding. I mean, we were that 6 months turned into a week and 2 days. We went home the next week, like it was really 9 days. It went from 6 months to 9 days. She was lifting her head like 2 days later. Had the little blinders on in the NICU. That looked cute and scary at the same time, right? But we left there and they sent us home. Now that's where the scary part began. Any NICU babies in here? Have any nurses, have you sent NICU babies home? Okay, so y'all know that the nighttime is the scariest part about having a NICU baby, because they have you hook up monitors to the baby, right? Or at least that's how it was. So we have monitors on the baby. So if she rolled over any kind of odd way, then those monitors would go off and you didn't think your baby died. Like, you were really like, it was terrifying. Like, having a NICU baby or having a preemie baby was terrifying because she moved all around. If one of those little things came off, then maybe you're jumping up in the middle of the night thinking the worst, and you just realize that a little pad came off. So those are the things that you weren't prepared for, because I'm a very, very active dad. Like, I want to know everything. I was at all the appointments and all that, and I was prepared as I possibly thought I could be to be a dad. And mom was pretty prepared too. But nevertheless, we made it through that. That preemie is 23 years old now. She graduated with a 3.99 from Georgia State. And technically, she's been living with dear old dad for the last 10 years. So I've been a single dad since she's been in 5th grade. So that activity of learning and growing and bonding with your child was very, very important. And there's about another 3 hours of backstory of how I ended up with custody of a girl. But nevertheless, we understand that having those relationships make a big difference with your kids. So that's from start to finish, right? Okay, so what can we do to help increase dad's presence before and after birth? Dads want to be superheroes, right? We're men. We want to walk around with the hands out. So what can we do? And this is interactive. This is how I taught. This is totally interactive. What can dads do before birth and after, just to increase our presence? What can we do?
Y'all can go to counseling with your partner.
Right.
Like, if anything that I can encourage other people to do is, you don't know what the pregnancy journey is going to be like.
Right.
You just don't know what the pregnancy journey is going to be like. So if you go to counseling and discuss, the what ifs,
right,
it could be very helpful if the what ifs get here.
Right.
So that's very helpful. Also throughout the journey, addressing like your own mental health, because a lot of times it's like so focused on the mom. We are bringing life into the world, so it's a little deal, maybe, but
Right.
it's a big deal. But your mental health is also a big deal. When we're on a plane and something happens, the stewardess tell us to put the oxygen on who first, right?
Us.
And then you can help. And if you're the healthy in this period, and you're not addressing all the things that's going on with you, which is a lot to go through to navigate bringing life into this world, you're not able to be the healthy that we need you guys to be. So mental health is really big.
Mental health. Okay, that's one big one, especially for men.
I would also submit to have paternal health be the same way as maternal health is. I was fortunate to have my husband be home those first 6 weeks with my first son. Didn't happen after that, but when I say that was the most supportive and I felt seen and he was present, he didn't have to worry about, well, I have to run out of here. Are you okay? And I had a surgery, that's an emergency C-section after preeclampsia, and so he was there. He could see me, he could touch me, he could see if I
What else we got?
From my experience, engaging and supporting dads when they come to get pregnancy confirmation, and more importantly, mentorship promotes.
Right. Oh yeah, that's definitely a good one. Hold that right there. I've been in doctors' offices with mom and dad, and guess what? Dad goes to the appointment, but dad's on his phone like this. He didn't even go back. He's just there because not that he doesn't care. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know what to do, right? So mom doesn't say come back, and he's not. I mean, I'm over. I may be an exception to the rule because I was in everything. Like I was reading everything, I was doing everything, but not men aren't always like that. Sometimes we want to be like, hey babe, I need you to come back here with me. I need you to learn this. I need you to understand this. And that comes with your birthing plan and all that kind of good stuff. What's in your go bag and all that kind of stuff that men we're just like, okay, you tell me what to do, I'm gonna do it. Right? A lot of guys are like that. Okay, I'm gonna plan this for you, babe, and I'm gonna be over here, Like, you just tell me what to do, and I'm gonna do it. If I need to learn something, you tell me what I need to learn, I'm gonna do it. And then from that point, then the male can be able to assist you. But we got it. That's a good one. Mental health is a great one. And paternity leave. Yes, Lord. I wish that would have been great. Okay, so she brought right into my next point. Dads, your health matters too. Healthy dads equal more support from moms, healthier families overall. Now, what is mom thinking about when she's going through pregnancy? Everything, right? But give me a couple. I know everything is everything, but give me a couple. What are you thinking about when you're pregnant? Because I've never been pregnant before. Right? A baby? What about the baby? Is the baby gonna be healthy? Am I eating right? Am I doing everything right? What's that? Ooh, that feeling right there. Is anything wrong? What are dads thinking about? Right. But the same thing. But it's still the same thing. It's just a different perspective. Is she all right? Do she need anything to eat? Is she tired? Why she got to go to work? She need to have maternity leave before the baby comes because maybe she's overstressing at her job now. How am I gonna pay for this thing? Right? That was a big one. Like, oh my God, what's the average pregnancy in Georgia? Is 19,000, right? 20 grand to have a baby in Georgia for the most part. That ain't something light. And that's not talking about Pampers and this and that and clothes and all that stuff. And there's a whole lot of expenses and costs that a lot of people like. I want to have a baby. They didn't really realize that. Oh, it's a whole lot of 30 years worth of cost is gonna go with this thing, right? Because I think that as I grew up, it was like, 18, you get up out of there, But for me now, and that's the way I was raised. 18, it was like go to college, get a job, go to the military, right? One of those three options was it when I in 1996 when I graduated high school. Those are three options. But now, especially after COVID, are our kids even really prepared to go out into the world? Like, I had a kid that the 23-year-old was her senior year in high school was in COVID. Her freshman year in college was in COVID. They didn't really even have the social skills to even be able to be prepared. They getting bullied on the internet. Like, how you get bullied from somebody that ain't even in front of you? Like, delete. You're ugly. Delete, block. Man, that's not really a hard thing for us, but to them, that's a whole different experience, right? Right, life threatening. Somebody put a video of you on a burner account. They ain't even got enough moxie to do it on their own name. They didn't put it in somebody else's name with a dog as a profile picture, and kids are really taking their lives because somebody said something bad about them on the internet. So dad's thinking about now, future. I had a daughter. I'm like, oh my God, I hope she ain't meet nobody that was worse than me in college. I'm thinking all kind of stuff. But I was like, oh please, God, be somebody better than me. No, I'm just kidding. I was a pretty good guy. But I mean, we all have our things. But that mental health one is especially important to me. And I'll tell you why. I'll be openly transparent as far as mental health and how that can derail a lot. So now, had a situation with my daughter. I meet my two sons' mom. We get married. Now, again, I prided myself on knowing everything about pregnancy, but there's a couple of things that I didn't know. So I'm at work. I get a call that says, I'm on the side of the road. Come get me right now. This is my wife. I'm at work. I left work immediately. Drove about 15 minutes away. She was literally halfway out the car, screaming hooper holler. Some random convenience store people had picked up her phone and they called me. Get in the car. We leave her car there, lock it up. We fly down to the hospital, and this is in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg. We get to the hospital, and we're in the back. Now, we were just recently married. We were only married 6 months at the time. We go back, and, you know, I've always wanted a family. We were trying to have a kid. Like, we were really excited about building a family. We get to the hospital, and they're like, she's pregnant. Yes. But it's a ectopic pregnancy. What does that mean? So I'm like, okay, so what can we do? Blah, 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 blah. They're like, nah, that's not really how it works. That's like the baby's in the tube. We know what that means. That means there was no chance that baby was happening. So she still has to go through all the surgery and all that stuff for that, right? So that's a mental strain. Me, on the other hand, as a dad, I wanted a kid. I wanted a family. I already had issues with my daughter and her mom and all that stuff. So I'm 1,000% in go mode for family, right? Only to find out that, oh, that family ain't happening. And she almost died. Like, they were literally like, yo, we don't have surgery right now. She could die too. So we went through all that. From that point forward, guess what? We go back to the paternity leave thing. There was no paternity leave in 2005. So I had to go immediately back to work. She's at home. She's sad. She's all depressed because we're trying to have a baby. She has an ectopic pregnancy, has a surgery. So now she's hurt and lost a baby. I'm over here hurt, lost a baby. And we're just going through the motions. Even though we had two children after that, we don't know what's going on. And we just slowly start drifting because guess what? There was no mental health backup there. You know. And for us holy folks, that's probably one of the worst things to be is a Bible beater when things of this nature happen. When it comes to, hey, I love Jesus, right? We all love Jesus. But going to a mental health professional was like, not for black people, especially. Pray about it. You know, Jesus gonna drop it out the sky. We all good, right? So we all bent, and I would go on any platform on earth every time I get the opportunity to speak about it. If God was powerful enough to create the whole entire world, everything therein, you don't think he was wise enough to put somebody on this earth that went to school from pre-K to 12th grade, grad school, then got their doctorate and any other certifications that they needed to help you to navigate through your mind? You would think that would be a smart uses of God's people. But instead, we're like, oh, just pray about it, go home. So now we got people all bent up and hurt and don't know what the heck is going on in their life because it's a bad thing to go get some mental health, which probably could have saved my marriage because, yeah, we definitely got divorced because we were never the same after the ectopic pregnancy. Because she was like, he just went back to work and he didn't care about the baby. He didn't care about me. And I'm like, I had to go back to work because guess what? I didn't get any leave and I can't grieve anymore. You didn't see me crying and all that stuff. But I'm over here brokenhearted because that was the baby that I wanted just as much as you did. No talking, no counseling. Slowly break apart. Okay. So what activities can dads do to help improve bonding with baby, support mom, and build his own mental health? We already said one. Therapy is, hey, I'm all for therapy. Holistic medicine if possible, or holistic methods for me if possible, but I had some, it was a time where I took a medication to make sure I can get clear the clouds and be able to think rationally and think properly. That was what medication did for me for a little bit. But what can we do? What other bonding activities can we do? Peer support, right? A big thing that men lack. I'm a big tough guy. I'm not gonna talk to another big tough guy. I don't want to cry. If you can't tell your friends the toughest parts about your life, are they your friends? No, I don't. I'm not that friend. I wasn't raised in a family like, yes, Antoine, you're right. No, that was like, bro, that was wrong. This is what you need to do. This is how you have to do it. Maybe you should look at it from this perspective, because we all need that support. So therapy, male to male bonding, time with baby, right? My daughter was like this. I mean, I carried my daughter like a football like 90% of the time. But remember, I was still in college. So I had to take my daughter to class sometimes, right? It wasn't no free babysitters like that. As a 20-year-old, I mean, I was in class. Fortunately, I went to an HBCU and the teacher looked like me. So she was like, man, I would rather see you in class than you not be home. Because they could have easily said, nah, you can't bring no baby in the class. 8-month-old baby or a 1-year-old baby in class. So I'm thankful for that. I have professors that pick up the baby and they teach him with the baby like you see in the little commercials. Like they was like, look, do your work. And they hold the baby or the baby's in my lap and she quiet. That really was an experience that I had. So being in spaces where you're bonding with the baby as dad, you're spending time with mom, dad, and baby. You are giving mom time off, right? I was raised by a whole lot of women. So I had the opportunity to be able to do things that a lot of men may not do all the time. Cook, clean, so, I could do baby hair. If I got to do it, we had to do what we had to do. But my baby wasn't going to school looking at a hot mess, so I had to do what I got to do. I was like, hey, can't get my baby bullied. You know what I'm saying? It was just me and her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Bullying is real. But there are opportunities to build bonds in a plethora of ways. Play time, reading time, reading to the belly and all that kind of good stuff. And we had mamas, they was buying all the cute girl clothes. I was like, your baby can read. I really wanted it to foster an education. And the funny part is that kid actually did go to school and got an A and everything. Paid attention to your mental health. Hands up. Dads typically have seen their primary care professional less recently than tech support hotline. So, men, I'm gonna put y'all on the spot. Have you been to the doctor this year? Raise your hand. 100%? Okay, men, not even that. Let's go back. We got about 8 of us. Have you, it is mid-September. Have you been to the doctor this year? Raise your hand. We need to change that. Because we be on the phone, we play on the phone, we watching football, we doing all these other stuff. But as we age, are we taking care of our health? That includes mental health, right? That's the main one that we're lacking. But yeah, you ain't seen your doctor and you over 40. It's something wrong. And if something happens to you, that's dramatically impacting your household. Even if y'all ain't in the same household. You can't see your kid. You can't give mom a break. They got to take care of you now when you can have taken care of yourself. So there's a lot of opportunities for men to, now ladies, I'll put this on y'all. Because remember, y'all tell us what to do, we do it for the most part, right? So how many of y'all significant others have went to the doctor this year? So he was like, oh, you going to this doctor. I'm making this appointment today, right? Like, you going. Good. Y'all understand. Okay, so What self-care activities should fathers do to increase their mental and physical health? I mean, it's a million things. Going to the gym. I mean, again, we're trying to get away from technology a little bit. Go to the gym, run, walk, eat healthier. I was big on that. Sleep, woo, man. That sleep one is a good one. Because I'm an entrepreneur, so the mind never shuts down. So I'm working 24 hours. But I've learned that sleep is very important. Eating is what you consume in your body is very important. What you listen to and watch is very important. So we're in a time where it's already hard enough to be a man and speak what's going on inside, but then we got TV shows and movies and radio shows that's telling us even crazier, desensitized stuff, right? Okay. Encourage dad to seek care boosts that their own well-being and make them better partners through birth. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that we can do for men to understand the birthing process more. Now, I do feel that we need more resources because, like I said, I've been in research for 4 years with this Sigma Fathers position, and yeah, resources for mom, resources for dads. We need to close that gap a little bit, but I think we need to push dads to advocate for those more so that they'll be there. All right, so what's the gap? Fathers often neglected in maternal health frameworks. We all know that. It's like baby mom, dad. So we as moms can push for more participation and more resources for dads as well. But like we said, I thought we saw, what is it when it comes down to malpractice or some type of situation? Women are 1 in 4 that you'll have some type of situation in the hospital. And yes, we laughed about it at the table, but if dad is there and mom don't feel comfortable saying something, I know one person that would be. I'm gonna say it. Oh, you don't feel, what'd you say? That nurse is acting kind of, excuse me, yeah, we'll do it as politically correct as possible because, I'm a tall 6'4" black man, so I can't go there and then scaring everybody. But we can't advocate for mom and baby in a professional and logical manner. And maybe mom may not be comfortable saying some of this stuff. Even as a nurse, she's a nurse, and she was like, oh no, because we're still human beings. So when you're in that position, that partner can give you that strength and confidence, or they could be your strength and confidence in times where you're not feeling your 100% self. Getting dads active improves outcomes, father friendliness, nutrition education, breastfeeding support. That was probably the coolest thing I can say. Well, I used to talk to my ex-wife and go, hey, you were passed out and I got the baby latched onto you for the first time. So I was like a champion. Like the nurse was like, you actually paid attention. Like you got to help the baby latch on. And I was like, yes, we are not paying for formula. We want my baby to breastfeed for sure, right? Because you're thinking about the financial and medical, benefits of breastfeeding. But and a father-friendly services in Georgia. Again, we just said it. Mothers being mistreated is 1 in 4 cases. So an informed and present dad can easily help with this number. I don't like that. And then again, we're looking over the peer view. We might notice something that mom may not. Mom's worried about inside. We're worried about outside. Okay, so what's one dad-friendly service you'd add to your local clinic? What's one dad-friendly service? And we got a couple up there. Father yoga, dad-like parent-teacher conferences. I'd fund that one. Get a daddy mentor. Because everybody doesn't have that. But what would you guys do for a dad-friendly service? Doula?
Not even daddy doula.
Just a doula.
Y'all put a gender on it.
Gotcha.
All my dads were like you.
Okay, let's go.
Daddy, do I childbirth
Daddy do our childbirth education. Okay. I like that. Hold on. Gonna run down to the patent office before she beat me there. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the patent office first before she beat me to it. But we're gonna do that. Okay. Dads taking leave equals better breastfeeding. We said that at the beginning. Involvement increases prenatal visits. So yes, we have better outcomes in prenatal visits when dad's there as well. Global evidence: fathers in delivery room accelerate labor. We're probably stressing you out a little bit more, so you try to get the baby out of there faster. Improve outcomes, promote skin-to-skin contact. That's one of my faves. Even after C-section to reduce hypothermia for newborns. So yeah, that skin-to-skin is like, if you ate a dad, that's probably one of the most precious things on earth is to have your baby laying across your chest or this skin-to-skin contact. That is an undescribable feeling. All right, kangaroo care. Skin to skin with dads lowers parental anxiety. I guess you feel that sense of family and love and caring and warmth when you're skin to skin with baby. Boost confidence in breastfeeding success. All right, so summary: engage early, care for your health, and fill the father gap. These are our superpowers. And so, if you want them to go big in birth, try this mantra. Show up early, take care of yourself, and give mom and baby the best dad-backed health bump they didn't know they needed. Because y'all are super women. Because again, you have this whole human out of a human type thing, right? That is unexplainable, right? It's like that's a whole phenomenon in itself. So I think that dads back you, then that gives you even more superhero status. So, we have any questions? It's so funny. All right, I'm off the hook.
No questions? I think you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
And then maybe give them a handout, include your all partners as well. Put that in your handout. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, one part.
All partners. How many partners you got? Jesus Christ.